Yo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry I'm like 1 or 2 minutes late. I was doing the sketch of this. I just started it, and been drawing it for like, I don't know, 4 minutes, something like that. Got caught up in it, so I apologize. Just wanted to have most of it done before I started the stream. Just something pretty quick, pretty loose. Someone said they wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to watch my streams. Well, I greatly appreciate that. I hope it gives me a lot of pressure to make something good, and hopefully these streams are enjoyable. I know I'm not that entertaining, but I don't know. Hopefully it's enjoyable. Either way. So it looks like I kind of missed, kind of drew this too big because I'm missing this nice shadow and light on this left side, which is kind of a bummer. This nice bit of light here. I kind of like it, but I thought about modifying this actually. Um, Modifying this shadow. I thought of like possibly drawing the shadow like this, then having it go up the wall like that, potentially, instead of this curve. And that way we have light in the foreground, shadow coming down like basically from this side somehow. You know, we don't have to follow what's on the reference, right? Here's the reference, everybody. So I'm thinking like maybe modifying that type of shadow. Uh, I don't know. Might make it more interesting. Maybe it'll make it worse. I don't know yet, but I'll keep drawing this. I think I kind of like trying to modify it, but there's a nice bit of light coming through this doorway as well. So that's also going to be helpful. Light shape there, right there, and light coming through this other side. So there's the ground like right here. Little doorway on the other side, something there. Don't even really need that either, but maybe I'll have it there. And yeah, the light coming through here like this. And a dark step. All right. Looks like we got a nice group of people here. Trinity, Tom, Max, Trisha, Nathan, what's happening? Sim. Well, I'm glad I'm quite entertaining. I don't really think I am, but at least somebody thinks I am. Amanda, Cubs win. Cuber. I do remember you. Do you know how to solve the Rubik's Cube? I used to do that years ago. I remembered how to solve Rubik's Cube. I could still, I'm probably if I had one, I could still only do the top side and the two rows all the way around. I can't do the bottom side. That's the one that's tricky for me, but I still have the muscle memory for getting the top and on the top two rows, I think. Forgot the rest. Anyway, I was a nerd. I was kind of nerdy when I was a kid, you know. I did like got into like yo-yoing one year. I got into like Rubik's Cube solving. I got into origami, all kinds of stuff. Some of you guys might have saw that on my Instagram the other day. I posted on my stories, I posted a bunch of origami that was folded like 17, 18 years ago, maybe even longer than that my mom kept. And I finally got the box from her attic and saw a bunch of my old origami. Pretty crazy. I feel like there was some that I remember folding that weren't in the box, but I don't know. I guess we didn't keep them. But I don't know. I remember a few other things, Mom, and there was many things in that box that I don't remember folding. So it's pretty interesting to see that. Pretty cool. Um, but anyway, you guys will actually see this one in an upcoming video in a few weeks. I folded this, I'll show you guys, folded this as a reference to draw from, little box that I folded using my origami skills and the internet, and just use that as a reference. I can set that any angle, and now I have a reference for boxes, you know. And it can help you with perspective, and you can put these flaps any way you want, you know, point them downward or upward, and it's a good reference to play around with. So anyway, there we go. Little tangent there, but I think I got the sketch down. No, I really want the contrast to be around here. This is a lot of light coming through right here. I kind of like, I'll show you guys what I like about this. I like this diagonal line of light, and then I like this diagonal opposing it. So we have like a nice, we have an interesting, and then we have this diagonal going back. So we have like this zigzag here with this doorway kind of leading us in, and these lines leading us in and up. So I think this is a better composition instead of having the shadow kind of swoop down and not really give us any light in the painting. So this is a smaller one. This is a 6x8 with 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch tape around the edges. So this is a smaller painting just because I'm doing a vertical. Haven't done a vertical in a while. So anyway. Oh, the Etch-a-Sketch was cool. I had one of those things too, but I wasn't that good at it. I didn't know that. Jackson collects Rubik's Cubes. That's crazy. What's going on, Enrique? Jeremy? Thanks for tuning in. Exactly, Lane. I think this is good little movement here. So let's get into it, I guess. Try to paint this thing. Yeah. Sorry, folks. Okay. Where do I start here? I think for this, I'm gonna start out with yellow ochre. Nice yellow ochre wash, and I'll modify it as the painting goes on, as I'm painting into it. But I think yellow ochre, a little bit of red, slight bit of red into it, just something warm to start out with. So try to show some of my palette this time since I have a little bit of space here on when I do a vertical normally. So just get into the yellow ochre, touch of red. But this is just the first wash, so nothing too crazy. I'm probably just gonna wash the whole thing. Maybe I'll leave this part white slightly, where that light's really coming in on the ground. I kind of like that. But the rest of this can be yellow ochre. Pretty sure, yeah. This can all be yellow ochre. Even the sky, not too worried about that. You know, because this is all going to be cooler shadow coming in. This will be light on the ground and stuff. I'll have to figure, oh, I should have made that a little bit lighter. It should dry light anyway, but I'll lighten that up just slightly. Because the ground should be a little bit lighter than the wall. You know, the ground's catching a little bit more light. Now for the sky, I'll keep this wet here. For the sky, we'll just go into ultramarine. Maybe a little bit of cobalt teal. Just like a light blue, can just wash into that. Try to keep it soft up there. So there's our composition. It's a pretty good start, I think. Try to keep lightening this up for a moment while it's wet. There we go. Happy with that. So you kind of got continuity here of ground. Nice wet into wet. I can even wash some red into it. Because I'll probably go maybe cooler with some of the shadows. At least, you know, they're going to be red, but just on the walls here. What's a fantastic color? This needs quinacridone burnt orange wash for heat. Well, I don't have that color, so I have transparent red oxide. But this is just the first layers, you know. This is not really that important. Could almost wash with anything for the most part. Getting a little bit of glare here just because it's wet, but then I can bring the light down as well. I never know how light or dark I need the exposure until I start painting. There we go. It's a bit better. Guess. We're going to have to crop the sky almost out or make it darker. Well, it's a little too late right now. I already put the sky in. I think it'll be fine. I think it's probably fine the way I painted it right there. It may have to be a bit darker, but we'll see. I want to keep my focus on the light versus shadow here in the foreground. Sky, you know, skies are light, so. Is it too late to start painting with you? I like the reference photo. It's never too late. Never too late. Here's a reference photo one more time, just for folks to see. So that's what I'm painting today. And if you like this video or you like my paintings, be sure to check out my website, schaeferfineart.com. Got other paintings, drawings, pen and ink drawings as well. Check that out over on my website. Greatly appreciated. Just drawing this real quick. Shouldn't take just another minute here. Also, if you're watching, please hit the like button if you like this video. It'll help YouTube push this out to more people. It's just a way to support me. And literally takes no effort. I mean, a little effort with your finger. You got to click the button, you know, I know. And you got to kind of find it on the page with your eye. So I'm painting with the Arches logo in the sky. Yeah, I'm not worried about it though. I mean, you can't really see it, to be honest. It's not a concern for me. They put it on the paper, so I'm just going to paint it. Just going to use it. Yeah, I purposely put it in the sky because I didn't want it to distract from the foreground. So, where is this doorway? I am not sure. I'm not sure. I'm gonna guess. My guess would be my geo guess. I'm a geo guesser. I would think this is like Morocco. That's my guess. So, yeah, there's a lot of work doing that thumbs up. You know, it's a lot of work for people. They gotta like, you know, first they gotta like stop eating something. You know, they gotta put down the food they're eating, and then they gotta. Not saying everybody's eating, but possibly, or drinking or whatever. And then you gotta find your mouse, find the like button there. You search around for that thing, and then you gotta click it. It's a lot of work, man. A lot of work. Or if you're using your phone, you gotta, use your finger, try to find it. And then sometimes the screen doesn't work, you're like tapping the screen, it's not working. It's like, it's a big pain. I don't ask that much from it. I don't ask people to do it a lot, because a lot of work. Anyway, all right. Okay, next layer. Let's do it. I think we go into, and I might just leave this yellow ochre to be honest, but we'll see. We'll see. Even though it could have been orange, but I think we'll use the orange and stuff in the shadows. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. It's all right. Just needed something warm there. Doesn't have to be exactly like the photo. I'm trying to break free from that. At least at least break free more. Yeah, exactly, Lane. It's just like changing brushes. I like using this big brush. It's so much work to put this one down, dry it off, put it down, pick up another brush, prepare it, and all that. It's like, oh man, too much mental work. Okay, let's see. So yeah, we're gonna go in the we're gonna go with the shadows. So it looks like in this so the shadows kind of contains two different things, right? We got reflected light, which is like that orange, really vibrant, deep orange, red, brown. And then we have darker darks around the doorway that are a bit darker. So I'm thinking two different layers here, possibly. Maybe melt them together as well, but lighter up top, darker at the bottom. I think and then lighter on the ground here, a bit lighter. So that's what I'm going to try. So less water this time, more pigment, a bit more red. Let's try transparent red oxide. I think that'll be a nice color to use here. Possibly. I'm probably going to need a bit of ultramarine blue to kind of darken this a bit. Or alizarin crimson maybe to deepen it. Probably too much. There we go. I don't know. Let's try this. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? We just gonna try it. It's a lot of red in there. Try to mix on the paper. A bit more. That's what I gotta start doing more. Mix on the paper. Okay, that's pretty dark. I went pretty dark with it. Okay, let's wash over all of this. Trying to think like a watercolorist today instead of what I normally would do. I would normally like save these darkest darks and I'd be like, oh, why didn't I just wash over them? Supposed to just wash over. So I didn't exactly get the mix of colors I wanted, but we got something here. I'm gonna try not to be too nitpicky about like details and stuff or exact colors, you know. What color am I using here? I mean, a lot. Yellow ochre, cadmium red, transparent red oxide, a little bit of ultramarine blue. Okay, I gotta paint the ground here. I want the ground to be maybe a little bit cooler because it's probably getting from the sky a bit. I mean, it's still gonna be red because you got all this red here. Kind of like that. Didn't mean to fill everything in solidly. It's kind of boring because it looks flat, but I think when we darken the bottom and do the darker darks in here, I think it'll look better. It's already looking looks a little better right now with just a bit darker bottom there. We also have really a dark shadow down here. This step. It's a little more light over here. Oh man, that color totally bled into my light shadow. Or my light, not the shadow. That's okay. We still have a good, strong light shape, I guess. Sometimes it happens. There we go. Not bad. That's actually kind of cool. It looks like big reflected light bouncing around off the ground, off the edges and stuff. Yeah. I think this was a good choice of this shadow. It's interesting. I think it's more interesting than what that photo was. That's what I like about it. Like the slight softness here in this shadow. So got some interesting things happening. It's not all bad. I guess it's probably not bad at all. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Looks good. It looks very saturated on the screen, but it's really not that saturated. What's going on, Gina? Thanks for tuning in. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks, Tia. I appreciate that. They said, forgot how much I enjoyed watching you work. Oh, great. I appreciate it. Glad somebody's got some people. Mix on the paper? Nah, too complicated. Yeah, it is. It is kind of complicated. I just forget it sometimes. Um, forget like I can just put a color down and then just let the wet into wet kind of mix everything around, you know? I always like try to mix up like the perfect color and then I realize it's gonna be boring if it's just like solid color, but we do have some variation here. It's not completely solid, and I'm gonna go back in with a little bit darker around the around the doorway there, and then the bottom. We'll do like some texture and stuff. Get pretty dark and kind of separate the ground from the walls a bit more as well. And then I guess we need some do we need definition on these back buildings? I guess a little bit, but not much. Oh, we needed shadow here too. Ah, didn't even think about that. I was totally not paying attention to the background. But that's okay. It shouldn't be too difficult. We just sprinkle that in there. And then it's a bit lighter out there. It's not too dark. So maybe I'll keep this shadow in here just a bit lighter. It's gonna be darker around the edge of the doorway anyway, but that's kind of nice. It's something interesting to look at through the doorway, you know, some kind of interesting brush strokes and stuff. I hope anyway. That's what I was trying to do. I don't know if it's interesting, but trying, man. Okay, good enough. Yeah, this is cool. I like the light here. I like what's happening. I like what's happening. Got some good things happening. Like I said, we'll just wash back here slightly. There we go. That kind of helps this background here. These two things kind of links them together in a way. Kind of like that. It's good. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep this solid white on the ground. I think for now I will, but it might need a slight yellow ochre wash like this to look a little more natural to fit in. So we'll see. Is this in the Middle East? This is, I have no idea. My guess is Morocco. That's my guess. So if you look at the reference, I think this is, it looks like Morocco to me. I mean, could be anywhere, right? I mean, there's so many places it could be, but I'm gonna guess Morocco. That's my final answer, Regis. Hmm. Thanks, Gina. I appreciate it. I do have 500,000 subscribers, but you know, it's cool, but I wish my videos got more views. That's what really matters to me. I mean, I like having a lot of followers. I think it's great, but you know, just need a more consistent audience and stuff. That's what I'm working towards. So that's what I'm working towards this year. Okay. I think this is dry. If not, I'm gonna dry it just a little bit. And I think this is where we get pretty dark and we do some dry brushing and stuff. Like if you see on the right wall there, it's like some interesting stone pattern and stuff. So we'll kind of try to create some of that here, just like dry brush it or whatever. So it could be Egypt too. Yeah. I mean, I have no, that's what I said. I have no idea. Could be, I'm going to guess Morocco, but could be Egypt. Oh, wow. That's cool, Lolo. You're going to Spain next May. That's cool. I didn't even know Spain was open right now. I guess if it's not, I hope it's open next May. So when you go, it'll be open. But I have no idea what to paint in Spain. Paint the rain in Spain, I guess. Okay. All right. Oh, did he really? He really died last year? Regis Philbin? I had no idea. I think maybe I saw that briefly, but maybe I didn't. Well, that's a bummer. I really liked that show when I was a kid, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Yeah, you definitely should have painted in Alaska. How could you not paint in Alaska? That's like landscape painter's dream. I should have painted more when I went to Alaska. My first watercolor plein air sketches ever were from Alaska. Um, I could show you guys those. They're pretty bad. They're pretty. I mean, I started to get good right as the trip was ending, and I should have painted. I only got 7 sketches out of like 10 days of travel. You know, it's just like I should have done so much more, but didn't really have time. We were just jam packed with stuff that was planned. So okay. Anyway, focus, focus. Guess we do some darks. Let's do some darks, and I think I'm gonna. I don't know, Lane. Should I use a smaller brush? I feel no smaller brush. I guess it'll, it's just so hard to be loose when I use a smaller brush. But I feel like this will be better. That's kind of the right size for that area. Try to zoom this in for you guys maybe. This is the interesting part. You guys want me to zoom it in? I'll zoom it in. I'm just using a dark color, like a dark reddish brown. Transparent red oxide, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, cadmium red, stuff like that. Just get something dark, and red. See, something really dark, but it has a nice red tone to it. Less water, more pigment. That's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, we're gonna go dark with this. Although I think I don't want to go too dark, but definitely dark around the doorway, and then maybe a little less dark on the walls and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Let's just do it. Let's do it. See, so hard for me to paint with this tiny little brush. Just can't do it. Doesn't feel good. It's hard to paint sitting down, actually, to be honest. I really like standing up. I'm much more loose and just straightforward when I can stand up and just strike the page like I'm using a sword or something. A little bit water, a little bit more water here. Because I want to start. There we go, like that. This one actually goes up a little bit more for darkness. Okay, let's try to vary the color here. We'll go a little bit more red, more alizarin crimson, a little bit more water. Trying to dry brush this. There we go. It's nice. Is it nice? I don't know. Looks okay, I guess. I have to do it. It was better to use this smaller brush, I think. I just like to complain about it. Just a little bit. Yeah, let's give some variation to the whole wall slightly. There's actually a darker roof over here, so let's try to put that in. Something like that. Mm. Too many mosquitoes, yeah. In Alaska, man, it was crazy. And they're big too, man. They have some big mosquitoes. Luckily, I didn't suffer any mosquito injuries from Alaska because I wore long sleeves, jacket, and pants the whole time and boots. Like it was cold when we went. It was like early May, so it was right when all the snow was. There was still a lot of snow around. So luckily, but there was mosquitoes though, that's for sure. But yeah, luckily I didn't suffer too much at all. But I heard them buzzing around my face and stuff. That's for sure. I put some of this out here too. I think this one's gonna look cool when we take the tape off. I just wonder, do I need to darken the ground just a little bit more? Maybe towards the wall or something. Keep it light as it gets towards the light a little bit. I think we just needs like a bit more darkness here maybe. Ooh, I like the red reflected light. That's kind of cool looking. That's really nice actually. Glad I did that. See, sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes you never know what it's gonna do until you put it down and then you're like, oh, okay, that worked. Sometimes you just don't know. Okay, to be consistent here, just need a little darker color, not too dark. And you guys might think I'm crazy, but I think it's gonna work. Right? We need some like bricks and texture on this wall. Even though I didn't really match the color correctly, it's not a big deal. I think we just need a little bit of something there for texture on the wall, some continuity between shadows, the light, everything for the rest of it. And yeah, I think that's looks pretty cool. I don't know if this might be a little too bright of a white. You know, I might need like slight bit of glaze. They make a lot of sized brushes for some reason. LOL. Yeah, well, it's so you have a lot of choices, but you should only pick like one, you know? No, I mean I have some. Look, I have some. Okay. I'm using them. I'm using them. Imagine when I went to Hawaii, I only used this one. I bought this one while I was in Hawaii like 2 years ago, and I just used this one to paint like I think I only used that one. I don't think I didn't have these at the time. So imagine I was doing sketches with just mostly this little brush. So sketches were about this size. I think this is cool. I think this is cool. Let's see if I can soften some of this right there. Or to see if it's working. Just trying to show a nice line for that wall. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty decent. That's not really doing anything. Just need a little more paint there. Trying to just get more texture on the wall. Okay, that's good, I think. Maybe it's not good. It needs a little bit more over. I mean, I like having blank areas, but I think just slight bit more. There we go. I like that. Gotta have a certain kind of balance, you know? It's something you have to just feel. You have to just feel like this certain kind of balance. So, no problem, Silver Springs. Glad you're learning a lot. I don't really know how you're learning from this, but hopefully it's helpful, I guess. Wow, that's cool about Millionaire Game Show. I didn't know that. That's cool. This might be your shortest video. Yeah, it could be. Might be. We could do like some Q&A or something for 15 minutes. But yeah, I think this is done. See that sky really came together nicely. I like the wet into wet. I think the sky really works. I think that came together nicely. I had a feeling it would. I just had a good feeling today about this painting, so got lucky. We got lucky, folks. We got a good one, I think. I think maybe a slight glaze of color on that ground. It just seems very strong. But let's take the tape off because I don't think I'm going to touch anywhere on the edges anymore. Why no shadow on the left wall? Because I modified it. I didn't really like the reference being the way I drew this. I'll show you here. There's the reference. The way I drew this, I kind of drew the wall too small, so I kind of zoomed in more. And when I was drawing the shadow, there wasn't much light in the scene, and I kind of wanted to create more light here, especially in the foreground, and I liked this diagonal playing against this diagonal, and then having this diagonal right there, there, and here. So that's why there's no shadow on the left wall. Because I decided to change it. Because I'm the master here. I can change whatever I want. That's why it's called a reference photo. You just refer to it. You can change the colors, you can change the values, you can change shadow shapes, lights, you can move things around. Let me look at it from far away. I feel like we might need just like a slight glaze on that. It just seems too much. Maybe I'll leave some white there, but I feel like we need a very, very light yellow ochre glaze because it's too crazy. Like we just need something very, very not strong at all, but just something. It needs something at least around the edges. You know, I could make more of like a spotlight effect or something, but it's just too strong. Yeah, that's a bit better. Looks a bit more natural. I think that helped. Just toned it down a little bit. Yeah, because I want it that way. Exactly, Wayne. You summed it up for me. There you go. Oh yeah, no splatter. That's true. I totally forgot about the splattering. That would have worked well on the wall here. What's up, black box painting? What's happening? Yeah, some splattering would have worked really well. Like if I could have really, you know, block off the ground, just have the walls. Do like some light splattering. That would have helped. Um, yeah, I mean, you can't really even see the logo, to be honest. When you're looking at it, like you don't really even see the logo. It's more apparent on the camera, but let me see. If you know it's there, you're gonna look for it, but see if that's hanging on the wall, you can't even see the logo. It has to be in a certain light to really see it, but it's not really apparent at all. It really blends right into the sky. So that's the painting. a little less saturated version of the painting. This is the more saturated version of the painting. Get these two different cameras that just don't work, but I could still try to splatter a bit. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary. I feel like it is just because I like splatters. Um, Problem is, am I going to be able to block it off? I have to block off the edges a lot, kind of like that. I have to block off. I need a dry paper towel or washcloth. Hold on, folks. Okay, got a clean washcloth here. You wanted the sky to be super blue, but you're partial to blue. It looks good. Yeah, I understand. I get it, but skies are usually supposed to be pretty light. I know in this it's a little bit darker, but it works. I think it works. I could go over it again, but I don't really want to chance it. You know what I'm saying? So if I do something like this, that's a bit safe. That's kind of safer to splatter, I think. Just a little tiny bit. Not something dark, just do light. Kind of a little darker than the color of the wall. Kind of that color I did. Let's just see what happens. No, I don't want to do tape. The tape's really expensive actually, so I don't really want to. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Let's see what it looks like. Could be a little too much maybe. This is a little too much. Bloop. And this might be a little too much down there. Bloop. But I think that's good. I think that's cool. See that? See these little dots here? It just gives it a freshness that like it's really nice. I like it. I don't know why, but I like it. Let's try this other side. I think even on the ground we could splatter. So I gotta be careful not to ruin the splatters I just did. Let's open this little house up. So I'm gonna set this like this and then block off the top. I need to block off this side. Another washcloth. I got a ton of these washcloths for the whole year. Got like a 24 pack, so um, I'm not gonna over splatter. But thanks for the reminder, Mom. I know. I know. I'm gonna be careful. I'll be careful. Just a little bit, just like the other wall. We gotta match a little bit. Yeah, I'm using artist tape. That's what I usually use. You know, I ordered some more artist tape today. I almost ordered some that was like from Amazon that was different. It was a little bit cheaper, and then I read the reviews and they're like, "Oh, this sucks. It's not good." And I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna stick with what I know because I don't want to waste money. I'd rather get artist tape, something I've been using for years. I know it works." So that's what I went with. Just want a little on the ground. Little on the ground. Come on. There we go. Okay. I can clean up what I don't want there. I kind of like it. I like the little Splatters everywhere, actually. It's kind of nice. Yeah, thanks for the splatter reminder. That was a good touch to this, I think. That's a good final touch. I did feel like it was missing like something, texture. That's what I was trying to get with that dry brushing, and that's good too. It's good to have all this stuff. But the splattering, it's just a different thing that you can't replicate like painting at all. It's just so different, you know, having that little splatter texture. Just can't replicate that any other way. Yeah, it really brings to life. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the artist tape. It used to be the girl at the arts. So Lolo says the girl at the art supply store said she uses plain masking tape like from the hardware store. Yeah, I mean, I could try that. I'm always afraid of it leaving like residue or something, you know. Whatever. I don't know. I just try to get the good stuff that's I'm not too worried about it, you know. Because it lasts a long time. Like, you know how many paintings I used for this thing? And if you calculate, you know, for every painting you do, you just add $1 that goes to the tape. You know, you end up making a lot to be able to buy the tape, you know, for expenses and stuff. So that's what I try to do. You know, factor all that stuff in. If you're doing it for a hobby and stuff, yeah, it's kind of a problem to buy artist tape. It's kind of expensive. I want to use artist materials that, you know, acid free, um, doesn't rip the paper, doesn't leave residue. It's acid free. You know, it's only on there for like an hour or two anyway. But you know, I don't want it to. I don't want my paint to leak through. And this tape's been very consistent with never leaking through. You know, very rarely does that ever happen. So anyway, yeah, that's the painting, folks. I guess I can sign it or something, or try to sign it. I wonder if I can sign my whole name. Should I do my initials or my whole name? This one is a pretty small painting. I have to do it really small if I do my full name. Like right up here. Hmm. Is there any problem in using clear tape? I mean, I don't know about a problem, but just make sure it doesn't rip your paper or leave any sticky residue, then you're probably fine. You know, probably doesn't matter. I feel like I might just do my initials. I kind of do that with like name. Do you put tape right against the edge for consistency? Yeah, that's usually I mean, I just do like a size that I would paint, like 6 by 8, and then yeah, I tape right up to the edge just so it's consistent. It's kind of what I always do. I always cut my paper down to what I want and then first initial, last name, date. I'm not gonna put the date. I don't put the date on there. I'll write the date on the back or something maybe, but I don't like signing it with the date. But yeah, I do usually sign my first initial, last name. That's what I usually do. But this painting is very small. And I have a big signature on there. That's a lot. That's a lot, but we'll try it. Try it, I guess. That's what you guys say. You guys are experts, so I'm consulting the experts right now. That's what you guys say. So we can try it. Well, no one knows a name either. If it says B. Schaefer, I mean, no one's gonna know. who I am. Is it Brian Schaefer? Is it Barry Schaefer? Is it, what other B name? Bob Schaefer? Could be a million. You know how many Schaefers there are out there? Share the link of the reference, please. I don't know. I don't know it. I don't have the link. I saved it many months ago on a folder on my computer, so I don't have a link for it. If you go to unsplash.com and just search like doorways, you'll find it probably. I should have made the doorway a little more thin, but yes, I do have 500,000 subs, I know. I do, but it's not really that important. It's more about what are you going to do with them? What are you doing with that number? There we go. Not too bad, I guess. Maybe it distracts a little bit. See, that's why I don't like doing big signatures like that. It can be a distraction, you know? Can't really lighten it up. Painting is just so small, But I guess it's not too bad. Um, do you use something to fix your paint? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Must be lost in translation there. What do you mean to fix my paint? Just use water. It's just watercolor. Really? Artist tape doesn't work for you, Nathan? That's surprising. But I understand. Yeah, it's not that sticky, really. So, oh, I was gonna say, I was thinking when I was writing that signature, there was one time where I was signing an oil painting, and believe it or not, I misspelled my own name, and I had to wipe it off and redo it. I forgot one of the E's in my name. I just did Schafer. I forgot the E. I was so concentrating on like how I was writing the letters and stuff and how it was gonna look that I just yeah, I forgot a letter in my name. Oh, to fix the paint, like oh, okay, like a fixative. Is that what you mean? That's what it seems like people are saying. Watercolor? No, I don't really do anything. I don't really preserve them in any way like that. Most people just frame them under glass and mat them. Should be fine. There's no reason. You don't have to really, even like oil paintings and like any painting, you don't really have to varnish it. Um, it's not really necessary anymore. They used to varnish them because, so here's the final painting, guys. They used to varnish paintings. Look at that. Some of the green and some of the yellow here and the green because of the green screen. If I ever do a green painting, I can't really show it on the screen. Let's see what this looks like on the green screen. Yeah, look at that. Got some holes in it. This is the green screen. That's funny. This is what it really looks like. This is an oil painting I did many years ago. Forest. See, just signed my initials on that one. But BAS, not really good. Didn't really sign it very well. But I normally write it on the back too. But most of the time uh, they varnished paintings just because they protected them from like smoke and dirt. Because imagine most people's houses, they used like, fireplaces. They always had a lot of smoke and stuff, and just the way they cooked food and everything. Paintings would get really dirty. That's really why they varnished them. From my research, that's what I've learned. Um, Nowadays, it's like you don't really have to worry about varnishing. Like varnishing nowadays is really like, how do you want the final painting to look? You want it to be glossy, you want it to be matte, uh, semi-glossy. There's like all these different things you can do. Um, do you think they fade when in light room over time? Yeah, they definitely. I mean, paintings will definitely. It definitely will fade. It's just the pigments. Certain pigments are more light fast than others, and they'll fade. It's not good to keep them in direct sunlight like all the time if you want it to last. Oil paintings don't need a varnish. They really don't need a varnish. If you want it to look glossy and bring out the darks in the painting, then yeah, it does. But it doesn't need it though. That's the thing. Like there's nothing that says like you have to varnish a painting. Like there's nothing that says like that. That's the interesting thing about art. People use a spray on their drawings. Is it good to do it? You can. If you're doing like charcoal or something that's going to smear a lot, like I probably would spray it, but I don't really like those sprays to be honest. It's like they're highly flammable and you can just smell it sometimes, and I don't want it. That's one reason why I stopped using charcoal, is because like if I have to have a whole sketchbook full of charcoal and it's always going to smear and smudge, or I have to spray it and have the spray everywhere, like I was just like, yeah, I was just like, I don't really like charcoal. It's just easier to use pen and ink or something, but oils change the color depth a little when varnished, but yeah, watercolors don't need. Yeah, I mean, varnish would change a watercolor too. I mean, it would make this painting glossy. I mean, this dries really matte. Like when I'm looking at this dark, like I don't see it as super dark when it was wet. So like some kind of gloss varnish on this would change it, but it's just not necessary. If you just frame it under glass. Like oil paintings, yeah, I guess maybe they'll hold up longer to time if you varnish them, but not really. I mean, I don't think I know like in the museums and stuff they do that. They always like they clean off the old varnish. Um, it's just a way to keep dirt from getting onto it, I guess. So I guess it would help preserve it if you want it to last like hundreds of years, but you know, who knows? It's a thing. Yeah, I don't want your dogs to fade either, Cubs win. I think it would take many, many years for it to fade, but yeah, if you can keep it out of direct sunlight if possible, then you should be fine. Should be fine. A UV varnish. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess to protect it from UV rays. So, yeah, I forgot I was saying with the oil painting and stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be around hundreds of years. Like, I don't know if any of my paintings will be, and if they are, then whoever has them, if they end up being, you know, if they end up being popular or something, somebody's going to take it somewhere. It's going to get varnished and cleaned, and they'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm not like too concerned about it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys like this painting. I really like this one. It has really good light. Really great light, really nice look. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off here and I don't know. Does anybody have any last minute questions um, about anything other than varnish or any other kind of thing? What do you think is your best painting? Oh gosh. Oh, that's tough. That's really tough. I can show you some of my really favorite watercolors that I personally think are my best. I have like maybe like three that I really like that I'm not putting up for sale, I don't think. Maybe I will one day, but for now I'm kind of keeping them. Um, yeah, so I can show you guys those three and see if you guys agree with the quality of them. Um, I have some oil paintings that are really good. They're in my closet. They're in my closet framed and they're big. I don't really want to bring them out right now. Um, what paper do I use? Um, actually, Mom, my violin, that one's many, many years ago. That one, it's not really one of my favorite ones, actually. It is really good, but it's not one of my favorite ones. What paper do I use? I use Arches cold press 140-pound paper, just regular. Um, I've tried the rough texture and I've tried the regular like this. I kind of like the regular because I paint a bit smaller most of the time and it just works better. Um, it works better with these kinds, this size of painting in like a 9 by 12. You know, if I was doing something a bit larger, I would, and maybe it was like a more natural kind of landscape. The rough texture is pretty nice because, sorry, you get dry brushing really easily, really easily. Um, and it just has a nice texture to it. But I found it's just a little too distracting when I do smaller work. Oh, it's one of my mom's favorite, the violin. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The violin, that was from I think 2010 that I painted, and I was like 11 by 14. I was pretty ambitious back then, I guess. I liked the castle one the best. Yeah, that recent castle one I did, that one was pretty darn good. I already sold that one, unfortunately, so I can't really show it again. I don't have it anymore. But that was it's probably one of my best. Let me give me like 10 seconds. I'm gonna grab some other ones that I really like. There's like three other ones. Yeah, let me go get them. I'll show you. Okay, sorry, folks. At least you have a galaxy to look at, you know? It's pretty nice. So I'll show you guys first, actually. This is it's gonna look weird on the green screen. Oh, maybe not. A little bit of weirdness there. This is actually not a watercolor. This is an unsellable. This is one I don't want to sell. This is an oil painting that I did. And the reason I really like this one is I did this painting from life, believe it or not. And I really love how it came out. I love the little geese in the pond and the reflections, the trees. I love the looseness of it. Uh, kind of the evening light going on. This one would be very hard for me to sell just because I just remember the experience. I remember painting there, being there. I painted this location many, many times and like oil painting, watercolor. This was a place I used to always go to in Davis, California. I've done a few plein air videos here in my watercolors. So that's an oil painting that I grabbed that one because it was right near these watercolors. So this is one of my favorite watercolors. Some of you guys might remember I did this one on a stream actually uh, that you guys saw last year. So this one, yeah, this one's one of my favorite paintings. One of my favorite oil paintings as well. I did this. This is an 8x8 sheet of paper, but I did a 20x20 oil painting of this first a few years ago. That's probably one of my favorite oil paintings as well. This kind of scene, and yeah, I just really love this forest. This is from my own reference photo that I took um, of a nearby forest about 2 hours away. Giant sequoias. I just really love it. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite. I'll show you guys two more, or maybe three more. This one's kind of a runner-up. This is one of my favorites of some other trees. I like this one, but I might sell this one eventually. But I really like it. Okay, this one's one of my favorites. I know it doesn't look like much, but see, this is that rough textured paper that I was talking about. Get some nice texture. This one for me is just, I like the mood. The mood of it, the softness here, the way I was able to do it. I don't know how I did it, but the colors and everything, the warms in the foreground and it gets cooler as it goes back. The softness there, the wet into wet, the compositional lines and stuff. This is from England somewhere. And it's just one of my favorite paintings, the way I executed it. And I got lucky. I got lucky. So yeah, this is another one of my favorites. And my last favorite, this is one of my absolute real favorites. This one's from a reference photo I took in Alaska. Let me lighten this one up a bit. Yeah, I really love the way I did the sky. It just looks very realistic. You know, it looks like a very natural sky. The shadows on the mountains, like all the values are just there. I really like it. I like the trees. Um, yeah, the light, everything, the sky really is just illuminating. It just works. I really like this one. So these are ones that I really like the quality of. It's funny because when I post some of these paintings, didn't really get like, I thought like, man, this is like my best work I've ever done. Like this one's gonna get like people are gonna love this. And then I post it and it's like, nah, a few likes, you know, nothing crazy. It's like it's just funny how the quality I see in my work, and then I'm surprised when other people see other work that I don't really like, and people are like, "Wow, that's really good," and I'm like, "Really? I like these. I like this kind of stuff. You know, this is the kind of stuff I like." So yeah, those are probably my favorite watercolors that I'm gonna hold on to for a while, I think. Um, you know, if the price is right, then maybe I'll sell them. But right now, can't do it. I just can't do it. You know, if I were to just sell them at like 65 bucks like my other paintings, I'd be a little heartbroken for those. So that's why. That's why I can't part ways with that one. And yeah, this is that oil painting. Yeah. I don't know. So those are some paintings I'm gonna hold on to. I don't really like holding on to paintings, to be honest. You know, I kind of hate that I do good work that I actually like because then I end up wanting to keep it and I don't really want to do that. It's just it's kind of annoying. So yeah, I like loose style, you know. I like painting loose, you know. Sometimes my work looks a little bit tighter, sometimes it's not. You know, it just depends, but I really like a loose style, you know. Somebody says, "Hey, I'm trying to do music and art both. Should I pick one or both?" I think you should pick whatever you want to do. What's the reason you want to do them? You know, do like, are you trying to do art as, or are you trying to do music as like your job? Like, you want to be a musician? Like, you got to pick one but if you just want to have fun with them and do both and learn both, like, just do both, you know? I want to get back into, I need to start making a little bit more music again. I've been thinking about that lately, but I just haven't felt inspired yet. So the reason I'm good at both. I'm not really good at music. I'm okay at music. I just create random stuff that I enjoy. But making music since like 2006. Um, so I've actually been doing music longer than I've been painting and doing art. So it's just the first few years when I was making music, like 2006 to 2008, like I used to make beats like every day. I would make hip hop music every single day. I had another track. I would just try to make one every day. And I go back and listen to some of them. I just did that recently, like stuff that I made in 2007, 2006. And it's like horrible, like terrible, like no music theory, nothing at all. Like I had no idea what I was doing. But I had a few good tracks back then, a little bit, not a lot, but just a handful. So yeah, just start practice, just learn music theory. Just start learning music theory, start playing around with stuff, find out which one you like better. But anyway, check out my website, guys. I have pen and ink drawings on there and watercolors. Not a whole lot right now, but I have a lot to add. I'm going to be adding. I recently updated my website, so I have to start over with adding products and stuff. So I'm going to be adding more to my website for sale. I also have a support page where, if you like the stream or you like what I'm doing here, you want to support me, there's definitely ways to do that. And if you want to check out the music I was just talking about, you can check out my Bandcamp page. Upload different music in there that I use on my YouTube channel and my videos. So check all that out at my website, schaeferfineart.com. So, yeah. Yeah, Fruity Loops, man. That's what I used back in the day, and that's what I still use. I remember in 2006 I bootlegged FL Studio 4. That's what I remember downloading FL Studio 4, and I used that for a long time. And then I upgraded to FL Studio 5, which was my favorite version of it. And then eventually I updated to like FL Studio 6, and then uh, I ended up my Windows laptop died, and and I ended up getting a Mac for my work. My work bought me a Mac laptop, and they didn't have at that time, like 2013, they didn't have FL Studio for Mac yet. So, um, yeah, um, yeah, so I had to wait a few years until recently, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they finally had FL Studio 20 for Mac, and I bought it. So, yeah, finally back into. I was looking for many years for a beat maker that was just as good, that made sense, and like I tried downloading so many for the Mac, and just none of them did the same thing. They didn't give me as much control and like just what I was used to. So anyway, guys, yeah, before you head out, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, folks. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe all the videos I make. Greatly appreciate your support. Thanks for being here. Here's a last look at the painting before I get off here. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, folks. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat dinner and try to enjoy my evening, I guess. So, all right, guys, take it easy. See you on the next one. Peace. How much time did you get to get 500K subs? 8 years.